Imagine waking up to a world on the brink of extinction. What would you do? This is not another dystopian novel, nor a sensational Hollywood flick. This is a dive into a chilling yet plausible hypothetical scenario that may have crossed the minds of many, especially in recent times. A world where the bustling cities have fallen silent, where once crowded streets are now eerily deserted, where the human race is teetering on the edge of oblivion. What would life look like in such a world? Picture this. A deadly pandemic, unforgiving and indiscriminate, sweeps across the globe. Hospitals are overwhelmed. Essential services crumble under the weight of the crisis. Governments collapse, and the world as we know it unravels. This is not a mere disease. It's a catalyst, triggering a chain of events that sends humanity spiraling towards the brink of extinction. In such a world, survival becomes the ultimate goal. The hunt for food and shelter, the desperate scramble for safety, the constant threat of the unseen enemy. Every day is a battle. The veneer of civilization peels away, revealing the raw, primal instinct of survival. Amidst this chaos, a small group of survivors emerges, scattered across the globe, clinging to the remnants of a once thriving society. They communicate through video transmissions, their only lifeline in this desolate world. These transmissions are their stories, their struggles, their hopes, and their despair. They are the voices of humanity, teetering on the edge, yet refusing to fall. These are not just tales of survival, but also of conflict, of human nature pushed to its limits. As resources dwindle, desperation sets in, and tensions rise. The fight for survival becomes a fight against each other, a grim reflection of the harsh realities of a world on the brink. But in the midst of this darkness, there is a glimmer of hope. The last transmission, a poignant message from the final survivor, a reminder of our shared humanity, of the strength that lies in unity, even in the face of adversity. Now let us listen to the voices of those who lived this nightmare. Our first transmission comes from a survivor in the heart of New York City. Immerse yourself in the pulsating rhythm of a city once known for its never-ending hustle. Now, it's a ghost town, echoing with the haunting whispers of a deadly pandemic. The virus, like a clandestine invader, swept through the city's veins, leaving a trail of despair in its wake. The survivor paints a grim picture of the initial onslaught, describing the virus's rapid and relentless spread. Healthcare systems, once pillars of hope and healing, crumbled under the unyielding pressure. Hospitals, overrun with the sick and dying, became battlegrounds, and the battle was one-sided. The virus was winning. As the health crisis intensified, law and order started to unravel. The city, known for its towering skyscrapers and vibrant energy, descended into a state of anarchy. The once humming streets were now the stage for desperation and chaos. That was the voice from the epicenter of chaos. Our next message comes from a remote rural area, a stark contrast to our previous transmission. From the vast expanse of isolation, we hear a voice, raw and weary. The struggle for survival in the countryside is a different beast altogether. Where once the open land provided peace and solitude, it now offers a grim tableau of loneliness and despair. The once bountiful fields are barren. The once teeming rivers are silent. Food is scarce. Hunting and foraging have become the order of the day. But with the wildlife dwindling and the vegetation withering, sustenance is a victory hard won. The survivor speaks of days spent in relentless pursuit of a meager meal, only to return to an empty hearth and a colder night. Medical supplies, once taken for granted, are now the stuff of dreams. A simple cut, a minor ailment, they've become threats to existence, magnified by the absence of aid. The survivor's voice trembles as they recount nights spent in agony, praying for a dawn that brings relief. But perhaps the hardest battle is against the mind. The silence of the countryside is deafening, the isolation a relentless tormentor. Fear and loneliness become constant companions, gnawing at sanity, breeding despair. The survivor confesses to moments of overwhelming dread, moments when the thought of another day of survival seemed unbearable. A tale of solitude and survival indeed. Our third transmission hails from a group of survivors hiding in an underground bunker. In the face of adversity, we'd like to believe in the best of humanity, that we'd band together, overcome differences, and fight for our collective survival. But this story, a chilling tale from our survivors in the bunker, challenges that idealistic notion. The confines of their bunker, a supposed sanctuary, have become a breeding ground for tension and discord. The constant pressure of rationing food, making life or death decisions, and living under the perpetual threat of discovery by hostile forces has taken its toll. Food, an essential lifeline in this post-apocalyptic world, has become a source of bitter contention. With each passing day, the ration sizes dwindle and the fear of starvation looms large. Arguments erupt over every morsel, every crumb. In this world bereft of abundance, even the smallest piece of bread can ignite a fiery dispute. But it's not just about the food. It's also about control. Who makes the decisions? Who holds the power? In the face of societal collapse, the old rules no longer apply. Hierarchies are contested, alliances shift, and trust becomes a rare commodity. Each decision, from when to venture out for supplies to who takes the first watch, is a potential battleground. Yet, perhaps the most terrifying aspect of their existence is the constant threat of discovery. The world above their bunker is no longer safe. Hostile forces roam the deserted streets, and the fear of being found, of their sanctuary being breached, is a constant, gnawing anxiety. This transmission, stark and unflinching, paints a grim picture of life in the bunker. It's a world where desperate people pushed to their limits grapple with the hard realities of survival. It's a world where unity is tested, where the veneer of civilization is stripped away, revealing the darker side of human nature. A chilling testament to the dark side of human nature. Our final message comes from the last known survivor. Gazing out into the void, the last known survivor begins. It's a strange thing to be the last one standing, to look back on what we were and reflect on what led us to this point. We were once a thriving species, full of promise and potential. We built cities that reached for the skies. We explored the farthest reaches of our world and even dared to dream of the stars. But in our pursuit of progress, we lost sight of what truly mattered. The survivor's voice cracks with emotion as he continues. We squandered our resources, destroyed our environment, and allowed our greed to sow the seeds of our own destruction. We were too consumed with our own individual desires and ambitions that we forgot the importance of unity, of working together for the common good. Pausing for a moment, the survivor collects himself before saying, "We had the chance to change, to learn from our mistakes. But time and again, we chose to turn a blind eye. We ignored the warnings, dismissed the signs, and continued down a path of self-destruction. We allowed the worst of us to lead us, to divide us, and in the end, it was our own divisiveness that brought us to our knees." With a sigh, the survivor adds, "We could have avoided this. If only we had listened, if only we had learned, if only we had chosen to stand together, but we didn't. And now, here we are on the brink of extinction." The survivor's voice grows stronger as he emphasizes, "But it's not too late. If you're hearing this, if there's anyone out there, remember this. We are stronger together. We are capable of incredible things when we work together. In unity, there is hope." His voice softens. "In the face of adversity, we must show compassion. We must help each other, look out for each other. We must learn to put aside our differences and work together for the survival of our species. We can't change the past, but we can shape the future. We have the power to write a different ending to our story." With a final plea, the survivor says, "Don't repeat our mistakes. Learn from them. Cherish the world you have. Protect it. Nurture it. Remember, we are all part of the same ecosystem, the same world. Our survival depends on our unity." His voice fades as he delivers his final message. Hold on to hope. Hold on to each other. In unity, there is strength. In unity, there is survival. A poignant reminder that in the end, we are all in this together. We must remember, unity is our only hope for survival.